Welcome, friends, family, and guests to the Wellness by Design Group podcast. I am your host, Rob Moffett. Welcome to the first episode of 2024. But before we get started, it's been an amazing end of 2023. And I look extremely forward to what 2024 has in store for Wellness by Design Group. I'm very excited about looking at getting into speaking and speaking engagements. We got a long list of new guests ahead in regards to fasting, mourning loss, bringing a naturopath doctor in to talk about some other things, and actually also hopefully my actual oncologist. And the goal is in 2024 to continue to find new therapies, treatments, and protocols that build the goal of, being healthy. And healthy means our mental health, our physical health, and our spiritual health. So I look forward to that. But as we get started today, I have one of my favorite guests here today with me, Ivy Terpstra. She is my one and only ice plunge partner and one of the bravest little girls I've ever been around. So welcome, Ivy.
Thank you.
So what's your name, Ivy? Why don't you give us your full name?
I am Ivy Elizabeth Terpstra.
And how old are you, Ivy?
I'm 9 years old.
9 years old. And today, we're going to talk about some things that you have challenges with. And so we were talking about this just a little bit earlier, is you've gone through some challenges in 9 years of your life already. Mm-hmm. And so can you talk to the guests about what those are?
Well, I had heart surgery. I've had rheumatoid arthritis, mm-hmm. and I had epilepsy, mm-hmm. and mostly it was rheumatoid arthritis because every morning, or not, basically every other morning, I would have either foot pains or shoulder pains and hand pains, cramps.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So mostly in your joints.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah. Well, before we get into all that, but being 9 years old, Ivy, you're a 9-year-old girl. Mm-hmm. What are things you like to do?
I like to craft and make mm-hmm. stuff, mm-hmm. and I like to bake.
Bake? And also you're in Taekwondo, too.
Not anymore.
Well, not anymore, but you were.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is it like for you in a daily routine to live with rheumatoid arthritis?
I used, when I wake up, it's, I just have, foot pain, leg pain, and, shoulder and hand cramps, and I can't really get them out, but I have to, really, wake up to, get them out, but, it's mostly my feet, mm-hmm. And it's not really temporary. It's mostly happening all the time, and I just want to get rid of it.
Mm-hmm. What do you have to do every day to get through that? What's that look like for you?
I mostly have to take Tylenol and rub it a lot to make it stop. And mostly I do the Humira shot.
Okay. How often do you have to do that, Ivy?
Every other Thursday.
Every other Thursday?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And that's not fun?
Mm-mm.
No. Nobody likes to get shots.
No, but it helps me a lot.
Well, that's good. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Can you share with the guests what it feels like? You say your feet hurt and your hands and your knees and stuff like that. This isn't something fun to live with, and mm-hmm. I'd like to hear from you what it feels like.
Well, mostly my feet, it's a sharp pain. It's a needle going in your feet. And for the legs and kind of my knees, it's a flowy pain. where it goes like it's like once in my knees and then another in my legs. And my hands, it's just like a cramp that like never goes away. Um, and it just like I have to like rub it to be able to like get it out, but it mostly takes like a long time to get it out.
So you feel it the most in the morning when you wake up,
Yeah.
and then as the day goes on, it becomes less.
Mhm.
Okay. And then, what are some of the things that your family and friends do to help support you with this?
Um, mostly like my mom like mostly like rubs it for me and like
Mm.
gives me like Tylenol or Advil. Um, and my friends, they just like support me at school cause like if my foot's like hurting at school, they mostly like rest with me and like
Mm.
they don't like play off without me.
That's nice.
Mhm.
It feels good.
Mhm.
Well, and also, you're sharing with them the challenges, and I think that's important for others to also understand the adversity.
Yeah.
And I think it's also to give you credit as you go through each day. You're faced with adversity every day, Ivy.
Mhm.
And I've watched you and how brave you are with it. And that is something we all should be um, celebrating, because you wake up every day knowing that you're going to feel these things, and you
Yeah.
still do it with a smile, right?
Mhm.
Can I speak to your dad real quick for a minute?
Yes.
So, Scott, what is it like for you as a father to, to have a daughter that you know wakes up every day feeling these challenges?
Well, first off, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
We've dealt with this with Ivy since she was in utero.
Mm-hmm.
So going through heart defect diagnoses, open heart at 4 days old, a cath procedure a few weeks after that, and then a month into her life, she had epilepsy. So she'd go into seizures while she was in the hospital. She would go into seizures up until the time she was about 3 years old. We were able to determine that those were primarily febrile seizures. So she's had a bit of a rough 9 years. And so, it's heart-wrenching as a dad. You've got to go through these things with the mindset of you're doing the best for your child, and you often question yourselves, are you doing the right thing? Is what I'm doing enough?
Right.
And so you become, my wife and I have become super advocates as it relates to her care, exploring every different option. So, it's every day, and you just have to be the best version of you, that you can be as a dad in being the advocate and the steward that God wanted you to be for your child.
And I bet Ivy also inspires you guys.
Toughest kid I've ever known.
Yeah. And I think that's it. I always try to find the silver lining, everything. I think that's definitely one of them, is you get to see your daughter, figure this out.
Well, we never realized that her issues early on in life would eventually bring both Leah and I to Christ.
Yeah.
And having that faith and that community was something that we leaned into pretty heavily.
Mm-hmm.
And so, prayer was a constant in her life.
Yeah.
And so, there's things that have happened with her varied conditions that literally have, you can only explain it by being the hand of God.
Yeah, absolutely. What are some of the, you mentioned the shot and the massage, but again, what are some of the other coping strategies that you have figured out to deal with the pain? You brought up Tylenol, right, and the massage. Is there anything else that you've found that seems to help?
Mostly just like if you like put your if you like make a fist and you just use like this part of your thing and then you just rub it against your foot, it actually helps, but it's mostly the Tylenol and the massage that helps.
Right.
Mhm.
Is there any activities or hobbies that you like to do that helps also? Maybe even keep your mind off of it a little bit?
I like to play soccer with my friends.
Mm.
Um, and also like play like handball and stuff like that.
And when you're doing that, you feel like it goes away.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Mhm.
Because part of it, I think, is just being a kid and being able to be a kid. I think that's also important for you to find those moments.
Mhm.
Because that's the challenge with what you're going through. It makes you become more mature much faster. And so
Yeah.
doing those activities, you discuss soccer and play with your friends, it reminds you that you're still a kid and it's okay to be a kid. I think it's important. I'm sure you have to go to the doctor quite a bit.
Well, not quite a bit, but um, like every, I think every year, we have to see my doctor. He helps me with like how my blood draw is doing and like how like my blood is flowing through my body, and he just helps me like know like that it's okay, and like he tells me like if I need to go like on like 3 weeks for my shot now, or like like yeah.
He helps you understand how things are working, what the
Mhm.
protocol should be.
Yeah.
Do you enjoy going to the doctor, or does that kind of challenge you a little bit going?
I don't like it at all.
I don't know that anybody does.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. So it's okay.
Mhm.
But we have to understand sometimes we have to go through those uncomfortable moments to get to the better moment.
Mhm.
And so sometimes going to the doctor is that.
Mhm.
I don't like going to the doctor either, Ivy,
Mhm.
personally. I've always had a fear of it. I've gotten past that, but I don't like going to the doctor. I don't think there's many people that do. So you feeling that way is pretty normal.
Mhm.
You know. How does this? You mentioned a little bit about school, playing on the playground, having to sit a little bit, and your friends will be willing to sit with you. How are some of the other challenges you have at school with rheumatoid arthritis?
Um, it's mostly in like class where like I'm sitting down and like I feel like I have to like move
Mm.
because like how it's like working. So I just asked my teacher if I can like go to the office and like stretch it out and like rub it a little bit.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then, uh, if you were able to talk to another, say, girl or boy your age with rheumatoid arthritis, is there any advice or knowledge that you would be willing to share with them to kind of help them?
Well, mostly take Tylenol and Advil and just know that you're gonna get through it
Mm.
and that you have to rush through the bad moments to get to the finish line and to get to the good moments.
There you go. Very brave. You're 9 years old. You got a lot of life left.
Mhm.
A lot of life. What are your dreams, Ivy?
Well, I really want to be a farmer like my dad, and I want to just like have like my dream is to go to Tennessee and like to ride horses and like to farm.
Ride horses.
Mhm.
That's pretty fun.
Yeah.
What would you name your horse?
One would be Nellie, and then the other one would be Shelly.
Nellie and Shelly.
Mhm.
I like that. I like that, Ivy. Well, let's talk about something that your dad and you and I have done together, and that's ice plunge.
Mhm.
And we started, I think, this in September,
Mhm.
late September. And I remember talking to your dad. I said, we should try to get Ivy in ice water. And he said very quickly, absolutely. And so you came over and we got you, I think, in 60-degree water first, and then maybe 50, and then lately it's been in the 40s, low 40s. How does that feel when you start doing that? What is that? First of all, getting in that water is challenging,
Yes.
and you did it.
Mm-hmm.
So let's first applaud you there. Not only did you get in, but you stayed in.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think it's really important that you not only are you getting past the mental challenge, but because of that, you've gained some physical benefits from that. And what does that look like?
Well, every time I get in, I feel like at the end, it's like it's like if my foot's hurting, it'll not hurt anymore. And like when I get in, it's always like a little cold. So I just breathe and like how you say to me like blow the boat across the lake. And I just feel like encouraged by that because like if people are trying to like lift me up and like try to like get me through it, I just feel like really like lifted up by that.
Wow, that's awesome. And then once you've done the ice plunge, you feel benefits for it for a couple days, right? Afterwards?
Yeah.
How many days do you think?
Well, for me, it's probably like 4
Wow.
days.
Wow. So do you think, knowing what you know now, at the young age of 9, do you think you're going to be getting in ice water rest of your life?
Yes.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Dad, you've watched this over the last couple of months too, and you've experienced it for yourself too, but watching your daughter and having something like this, it doesn't require putting something in her mouth or getting a shot or going to a doctor. What does that feel like for you?
So one, there's a mental toughness element to all this. And being able to watch her do something like get in cold water and go through the discomfort of being cold is a motivator.
Yeah, absolutely.
But watching the physical benefits that she gets, by Friday, her right knee looks like an orange with 2 toothpicks attached to it. And after she does, 3 to 4 minutes in the cold water, the swelling is dramatically reduced and it stays down for that 4 days that she was talking about.
Right.
So seeing something like that in real life, the joint swelling has always been the problem of the rheumatoid arthritis. Her immune system is literally attacking her joints. And so it causes a lot of fluid to build up in her ankles, her knees, her wrists, and her hands. And so to watch that swelling go down and stay down for literally a week is a pretty incredible thing to watch.
Yeah, and I'm wondering too, the fact that we're in that moment, you're pushing blood and oxygen in places we normally don't push to, that cardiovascular, I'll call it boost and workout, she's benefiting from that.
Yeah, and you can see it for, the next minimum 24 hours. There's a calmness that comes over her. There's a peace that's about her that, you don't see on the weeks where we don't do cold water. And so you have to look at this over the period that we've been doing it, and the only attributing factor that you could make the correlation to is the cold water.
Right. Yeah, for me, it was watching Ivy go through it and the benefit. I've experienced the benefit over a long period of time, but I wasn't dealing with the challenge that she was. And even for me, as a 48-year-old male, we have our own joint problems, our own stiffness, and mine are gone. I used to wake up and the walk from the bed to the bathroom was like, it was like you're bent over and you start to straighten up by the time you get to the bathroom. I don't have that anymore. And I don't wake up stiff and sore. And so that's pretty amazing. But watching Ivy go through this and understanding that she has a potential tool now, protocol that she has for the rest of her life that she has control of, which I think is pretty awesome. And I think that's the part to encourage others is it might not be cold water, but is there other things out there that can help whatever challenges we have that we have control over, which is very little.
Yeah, and so, as part of our process, before we put her on Humira was to go through the naturopathic route.
Right.
And so getting her food sensitivities tested. And so there's been a lot of elimination in terms of diet that go alongside the pharmaceutical protocol and then the ice on top of that. Like, I think it's a little bit more holistic than just the cold water.
Yes.
But I think everybody needs to kind of find out what that protocol is that helps benefit their body.
Mm-hmm. So Ivy, what if somebody was to come over here and want to get cold water the first time? What's your advice? What's your encouragement? How are you going to help encourage them to get in that water?
Probably like just think about like once you get out, you'll have like no pain, but you might feel like a little bit warm. And if you look at your body, you might be like a little bit red, but it'll get off you soon. And like you just have to breathe, and you just have to know that God is with you and you'll get through it.
Yeah, beautiful. I remember you also told your mother, Mom, after 30 seconds, you get in the zone. Remember telling her that? Mm-hmm. That made me laugh. Mm-hmm. But it's true. Mm-hmm. I think once you get past that understanding that it's not going to hurt you, there's also then that moment of peace that, this is going to help whatever we need. Well, Ivy, as your father and I both said, you're one of the bravest little girls we've ever been around. I'm grateful to be around you because I've learned things, and I'm grateful for you to come over here and get in cold water with me and the other people, and you got Drew in cold water. He wasn't going to do it unless you did it. So you've inspired others, and I ask you continue to inspire others, and I know that you will moving forward. And so I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful to know you and be around you. And thank you for coming on here today. Is there anything else you'd like to tell anybody? Encourage them? If not, it's okay.
Just know that you're going to get through it.
There you go. There you go. Well, thank you, Ivy.
You're welcome.
You have a great day.
You too.
And everybody, welcome to 2024. We're going to have a great year, a lot ahead, and keep going. Take care. I look forward to this ride and encourage you to come along. Hold on.